Alabama did what every elite program is supposed to do after losing 4 to 5 starting offensive linemen. It attacked the problem fast, hard, and through the portal. 6 new linemen arrived. Size, experience, immediate competition. On the surface, that should calm everything down. But inside this story, something still feels unsettled. Because programs like Alabama do not usually rebuild the offensive line this aggressively unless the problem runs deeper than the public version suggests. After the protection issues, the uneven run game, and the loss of control in key moments last season, this no longer looks like simple depth. It looks like a response. And when a response comes this fast, the real question changes. Did Alabama solve its biggest weakness or reveal how serious it had become? Before we go deeper, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment telling where you're watching from right now. I read every single one, and something a lot of people ask is how these news videos are made. It was with simple videos like this that channels got monetized. If you want to learn how to create content in this format, there's an ebook in the pinned comment. Just check the link to see how it works. At first, it looked like Alabama simply did what any elite program would do. After losing almost an entire offensive line, the response came fast, aggressive. 6 new linemen through the transfer portal. Size, experience, competition. On paper, it checks every box. But when a program like Alabama moves this quickly, it usually means something deeper forced the move. Because this wasn't just a reload, it was a reset. And that's where things start to feel different. Alabama doesn't normally rebuild the offensive line from scratch. It develops, it rotates, it keeps continuity. That's been part of its identity for years. Control the line, control the game. That formula built dominance, that formula built championships. So when that continuity disappears, it's not random. Last season showed the first signs. The protection wasn't consistent. The run game would appear, then vanish. Drive started strong and suddenly stalled. That kind of pattern doesn't point to just one missing player. It points to something less visible: cohesion. Because offensive line play isn't just about strength or size, it's about timing, communication, trust built over reps. And when that breaks, everything downstream feels it. The quarterback feels it first. Then the play calling changes. Then the entire rhythm of the offense shifts. So yes, Alabama added talent. But here's the part that stands out. It didn't just add 1 or 2 pieces. It brought in an entirely new mix. Some experienced, some high upside, some still developing. That creates competition, which is good. But it also creates uncertainty, because now nothing is fully established. Positions are open, roles are being tested, chemistry has to be built from zero, and that takes time, even at a place like Alabama. So the question starts to shift. Was this just about replacing players? Or was it about correcting something that wasn't working internally? Because programs that are comfortable don't move like this. They adjust, they refine. They don't change the foundation all at once. That's urgency. And urgency usually comes from pressure. Now look at the bigger picture. Across the SEC, defensive lines are getting faster, more physical, more disruptive. If the offensive line slips even slightly, it shows immediately. And Alabama felt that, not in one game, across multiple moments. That's what makes this move so important. Because this isn't just about improving, it's about restoring control. And control has always been the core of Alabama football. So now everything connects. The portal aggression, the number of additions, the mix of profiles. It wasn't random, it was targeted, but also accelerated. And when something is accelerated, it usually means there wasn't time to wait. Now here's where the story really shifts. Because if this new group comes together quickly, everything changes. The quarterback gets cleaner pockets. The run game finds consistency. The offense starts dictating tempo again, and when Alabama controls tempo, it controls games. But if that chemistry takes longer, then the issue wasn't just talent, it was structure, and structure doesn't fix overnight. That's the tension inside this move. It's powerful, but it's also fragile, because offensive line success is built slowly, and Alabama is trying to rebuild it fast. So the real story isn't just the rebuild, it's what the rebuild reveals. Because programs at this level don't reset the foundation unless they have to. And when they do, it usually means something bigger was at stake, not visible on the surface, but felt inside the system. So now the season doesn't just depend on new players, it depends on how fast this group becomes one unit. Because if it clicks early, Alabama doesn't just improve, it reasserts control. But if it doesn't, then the problem wasn't fully solved. It was just moved forward. And that's why this moment matters more than it seems. Because it's not just about the offensive line. It's about whether Alabama is already back in control or still in the process of getting there. So now the question shifts to you. Does this feel like a calculated reset that puts Alabama back on top? Or a sign that the foundation is still being rebuilt in real time? Drop your take in the comments. And before we wrap this up, there's something important coming from the last video. Bama29 dropped a comment that really reflects what a lot of people are feeling right now. Bama fans trust the process. I believe we good. And that mindset matters, because historically, Alabama has earned that trust. When adjustments happen inside the program, they're rarely random. They're calculated, structured, built to scale over time. But here's where this moment feels different. This isn't a slow adjustment. This is a fast reaction. And even if the process is still strong, the pace of change raises a new layer of attention. Because trusting the process works best when the structure stays intact. Right now, Alabama is rebuilding part of that structure in real time. So the belief is justified, but the situation is also evolving, and that's what makes this season so interesting. Big thanks to Bama29 for that comment, and to everyone else who's been part of the conversation. Even if names weren't mentioned here, every take, every reaction, every perspective is helping shape what this channel is building. Because this isn't just about watching Alabama, it's about understanding what's happening before everyone else does. And if you want to keep understanding what's really happening behind the scenes, make sure to subscribe. Because the biggest shifts in college football don't happen when everyone is watching. They start quietly and then change everything. Roll Tide!